The golden child during a divorce. This is a subject that really touches me um, because I had to go through it. Um, my parents got divorced, my biological parents got divorced when I was about seven-ish. Don't remember the exact age, but it was around that age. Um, and what ended up happening, first, my mother, had started, you know, going out meeting people, something a lot of divorcees do. Um, and she ended up with my sister's, at the time, boyfriend. Yeah. This was a 20-something-year-old guy who was, at the time, dating a 16-year-old girl. Wonderful, right? This man would come to be my stepfather, and I'll get into that in just a minute. During the divorce, my scapegoat sister was being shuffled back and forth between my mother and my father. My mother told anybody that would listen my sister was uncontrollable, she was a bad person, she's having her boyfriend over, while my mom's at work, great Scott, she's acting like a teenager. um, and because of this was just out of control, and that was my sister. So my sister got shuffled around a lot. My brother had pretty much already gone off with his life, um, and he had some issues of his own to deal with, that I'm not really going to get into that, because it's kind of a private matter. But so my sister and my brother were pretty much left out of the equation. So there was me. And not only was I used as a pawn in the divorce between my mother and my father, but I was also used as leverage with the man that would come to be known as my stepfather. How does that happen, you ask? Well, with a narcissist, anything is possible. Excuse me. I've got a little bit of a cold going on. So, um, during the divorce, I had been sent to live with my father for a time because he had been overseas. He was in the military, and had been overseas for a little over a year. Um, so he kind of made a deal with the courts, I guess, that he would have me, he would have custody of me for a certain amount of time so that he could spend time with me and, kind of, get to know each other again, because I was very young when he left to do this overseas tour. Um, so I went to go live with him. My dad, I'm not going to say anything bad about my dad because he is a great guy. He really is. How he put up with my mom for 17 years, I will never know. So I went to live with him, and he eventually got married, and my stepmom's amazing too. She doesn't have a lot of experience with kids, so makes, common mistakes and everything, but other than that, she's good people. Um, and my mother would always step in and just always creating drama and creating tension, and and so forth. And eventually I had to go back and live with her. At which point, she was getting married to this, well, let me back up a bit, because she wasn't, she was still a girlfriend at this point. But being a narcissist, she did not want to be a girlfriend. She wanted to be a wife. She wanted to be somebody significant. She wanted, you know, just a committed relationship alone was not enough for her. So she's putting pressure on my stepfather left and right. I remember the arguments they used to have. And every single time, no fail, my name got dropped. Oh, she needs you. She needs some kind of a real family. Her father doesn't want anything to do with her, which was complete bull. She was actually keeping me from my father. I later found out through my own kind of investigation of events that had taken place. But my name was always being dropped, and that's another thing the narcissist is just notorious for doing, is name dropping. And it is usually the golden that ends up getting name dropped. And she's pressuring and pressuring and pressuring. Well, when he finally decides to marry her stupid butt, all of a sudden I'm being made to call this man Dad. Because she wanted to firm up that relationship. And it's not because she was concerned about me or concerned about the fact that, you know, I may feel rejected growing up, you know, if I truly had a father that didn't want anything to do with me. No, 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 no. It wasn't about that at all. It was about firming up that relationship so that I could be used as leverage. And let me tell you, every single chance she got, she dropped my name and used me as leverage. If they would get into an argument, if he had a friend of his she didn't exactly get along with, she would threaten to leave him and take me away from him. And that's why she did it. That's why that relationship was firmed up. Not only that, but as far as my brother and my sister were concerned, well, as far as they were concerned, they didn't even exist to her anymore. I'll never forget, we were at a car dealership. We were buying a new car. And the salesperson asked me, "So, sweetie, do you have any brothers or sisters?" And before I could even open my mouth to answer, my mom just chimed in. No, she's our only. I wasn't an only child. I had a brother and sister. And secondly, I am not even the child of her and this basically pedophile she was married to. I mean, anytime a 25-year-old man gets with a 15 or 16-year-old girl, you got to wonder what his intentions are. But that was the kind of stuff she was always doing. That and always dropping my name. And if I did spend any time with my real father, when she was not able to put that obstacle up in front of us to spend time together, my father and I would get grilled when I got home. What did you and Daddy do? Well, we went to go look at boats. He just wanted to look at boats. That's all he wanted to do. But then that got turned into, oh, you were out looking at boats. Well, if you've got money to buy a boat, you've got money to pay me more child support. And that's the way it always was between my mother and my father. She would use me as her little spy. And being a child who did not know any better, when she asked me what Daddy and I did together, I would tell her. And I would tell her the truth. But it got used against my dad. And it got to the point where, you know, some of the stuff she didn't agree with, you know, she would twist it and turn it into something totally ridiculous and just stop me from seeing them all together. So scapegoat children suffer a lot with divorce, and this is pretty much a golden child's take. When their parents get divorced, what ends up happening to the scapegoat children, they pretty much end up getting cast aside, because this narcissistic parent wants to start their whole life over and just pretend like that other parent didn't exist, or at least that's what it was in my case. I am not a psychiatrist. I've done research on narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse. I'm only offering you my own personal experiences. So, as always, feel free to comment, and until next time, have a wonderful day, and I hope you find the joy and peace and satisfaction that you deserve. Goodbye.